Marble temples gleamed, armies crushed nations, and the Colosseum roared with the cries of victory. Rome believed it would last forever, but in the catacombs beneath the city, a spark was lit. A forbidden faith whispered of one true king, a carpenter's son who had conquered death. His followers refused to bow to Caesar, and their defiance struck fear into emperors' hearts. The empire answered with blood. In the Colosseum, lions lunged, swords flashed, and the crowd cheered as Christians were torn apart. Yet their courage only fueled the flames. The more Rome tried to silence them, the louder their faith thundered. Then came the unthinkable. Emperor Constantine, Rome's supreme ruler, laid down the old gods and raised the cross. Temples of Jupiter fell silent. Pagan rites faded to dust. The empire of iron bent to the name of Christ. And so the greatest empire in the world was brought to its knees by one small band of misfits. Welcome to Bible Revealed. The year is 80 AD. Rome seems invincible. Its legions have marched from the Italian peninsula to rule parts of 3 continents. Senators sit in judgment from the Senate, and around them marble statues of past rulers gaze haughtily out over the forum. All seems well in the great city, yet a change is coming that will shake the foundations of the empire and change history forever. Beneath the city, in the subterranean labyrinth known as the catacombs, a different kind of assembly is taking place. Here, in the flickering glow of oil lamps, men and women gather in secret. They are fugitives, outlaws, rebels, the outcasts of Roman society, united by their faith in Jesus of Nazareth, the one they believe to be the Messiah, the Son of the living God. To outsiders, their gatherings must have seemed bizarre. Their worship was strange and emotional. Their leader, a man named Epaphroditus, was said to have once been a servant of the emperor. Now he leads these meetings, teaching people about the one true king, the carpenter's son from Nazareth, who according to Christian belief died on a cross but rose again, conquering death itself. These teachings are not those of Rome. To follow Jesus meant rejecting the traditional Roman religion with its many gods and its pantheon of minor deities. It meant turning away from the empire and its authority. And most shocking of all, it meant refusing to bow before the emperor, who was practically worshipped as a god himself. No wonder the authorities don't want these meetings to continue. Epaphroditus teaches the crowd that there is only one true king, the rightful king of all creation, the Lord Jesus Christ. This gathering of believers will change the course of history, but for now they can only meet in secret. Not far away in the towering hulk of the Colosseum, the roar of the crowds rises above the din of the city. The year is 88 AD. Today is the day of the games. For 8 days, Rome's elite will feast, drink, and watch condemned criminals and exotic beasts fight to the death. In the center of this great amphitheater, gladiators clash, their swords flashing in the sun. Slaves taken from the brutalized provinces beyond Italy's borders struggle to stay alive against the vicious beasts brought in for sport. One gladiator in particular, a former slave named Quintus, longs for it all to end. He has come to despise the brutality of the games, and recently, rumors have reached him of another way, a way to escape this endless cycle of violence and death. As the crowds cheer in the stands, Quintus meets a mysterious young woman named Lydia. She tells him of a different kind of master, a master who offers life, not death. She tells him of Jesus, who died on a cross, not as a gladiator, but as a sacrifice, a payment made so that humans could be set free from death. This message touches Quintus, and he begins to follow Lydia and her band of fellow believers. The Christians practice their faith in secret, praying and reading from their sacred book, which contains the teachings of Jesus. But soon, the authorities catch wind of their activities. There is trouble in the air. And now the scene shifts to Rome's most infamous prison, the Mamertine, also called the Tullianum. Accused of being a Christian, Epaphroditus has been thrown inside. The dungeons are dark and dank, filled with the stench of waste and despair. Other prisoners huddle in the gloom, awaiting trial or worse, a death sentence. Among them is Quintus, who was captured at one of the secret Christian gatherings. As darkness falls over the prison, Epaphroditus rallies his fellow prisoners, telling them that although their bodies may be imprisoned, their souls are free. Suddenly, the door creaks open. Two guards enter, dragging a third prisoner with them. They shove him forward, their faces twisted in cruel amusement. It is Lydia. They drag her before the tribunal of one of Rome's most feared men, Gaius, the prefect of Rome, the representative of the emperor himself. Gaius eyes them coldly. "You have been charged with the crime of being Christians," he says, his voice dripping with scorn. "You deny the gods of Rome. You refuse to swear by the emperor's divinity. You mock our customs and traditions. You are a threat to the very order of the empire." He pauses for effect. "Tell me, what is your defense?" Epaphroditus steps forward. "We have committed no crime except to follow the one true king, Jesus Christ." "Arrogant fool," Gaius roars, his face red with rage. "So be it, then you die as arrogant fools." The soldiers move in to drag the Christians away, and now the scene shifts once again, this time to the dreaded Colosseum. Once again the crowds are gathered. Lions roar, slaves struggle, and gladiators do battle, but today the games are different. The Christians are paraded through the arena, their hands bound behind their backs. First comes Epaphroditus, followed by Quintus, Lydia, and several others. The crowd's jeers echo through the Colosseum. One of the leaders of the Christians, a man named St. Peter, turns toward his jailers. "Why are you bringing us to this place of bloodshed and death? What do you hope to gain?" The jailer smiles cruelly. "We have orders from the emperor. You are to die here, along with any who remain loyal to your so-called Christ." Peter raises his head proudly. "Very well, we shall die, but our faith will live on." The executioners approach. One of them motions to Quintus, motioning for him to join the others in death. Quintus hesitates. Just then, Lydia looks back at him, her eyes shining with courage. She opens her mouth to say something, but the executioner interrupts. His sword flashes and she collapses before him. With a start, Quintus realizes that she has just spoken, not with words, but with deeds. She has given her life for her faith. The executioner turns back to Quintus. "What are you waiting for? Join them or die separately." Quintus sinks to his knees and closes his eyes. "I am a Christian," he whispers, embracing death. The years pass, but the memory of the brave martyrs who died in the Colosseum does not fade. Instead, it grows. More and more people are drawn to the message of Jesus, the carpenter's son who died on the cross. Then in 312 AD, something remarkable happens. Emperor Constantine, Rome's supreme ruler, dreams of a cross while leading his army into battle. Soon after, he sees a vision in the sky, a cross with the words, "In this sign, conquer." Impressed by this vision, Constantine converts to Christianity, ending the persecution of Christians throughout the empire. In 325, he convened the Council of Nicaea, where bishops from across the empire met to discuss and formulate core Christian beliefs. Constantine also commissioned the construction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, built over the site where Jesus was crucified and buried. Over the next few decades, Christianity spread rapidly throughout the empire, aided by the support of Constantine and his successors. Paganism, the traditional Roman religion with its many gods, slowly faded into obscurity. Today, the Colosseum still stands, its massive walls bearing silent witness to the events of the past. Inside its ancient structure, visitors wander through the ruins, marveling at the grandeur of the Roman Empire. Few, however, realize that within these very walls, a handful of courageous Christians gave their lives for their faith, Rome did not fall to an army. It fell to a faith. If this story shook you, like this video, and subscribe to Bible Revealed for more hidden histories where faith and power collide. And if you want to know how another faith changed history forever, watch this video on the warrior monk who conquered kingdoms.